Um, Johnny Quest, they've already did Johnny Quest, and I think they did a superb job at rebooting the Johnny Quest franchise with the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest back in the late 90s, late 2000, where it ended. It's on DVD. I recommend you watch those. That it was around when Toonami was still around. The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest was always great to me, but can't bring that back. I still think it ended too soon. Thundar is another classic action cartoon that I would love to bring back. To really go more in depth to the Thundar character. Go more in depth into how Earth became the way it did, because that rushed origin of how it became that way don't really explain squat to me. You know, a meteor hurtles between the moon and Earth, and basically it shatters the moon, and it blows away the ozone, and then causes havoc on Earth. You know, that ain't gonna sum it up for me. I need more, you know what I'm saying? So I would definitely reboot that, revamp it, but also show how Thundar got the Sun Sword. Who gave it to him? Who created it? How he met Princess Ariel? How he met Ukla? You know, things like that. I need to know. I need to know that. And, you know, those are shows like that. You know, more action shows and less comedic shows for the kids now. Generator Rex is a prime example of going in the right direction. And by far, episode 2 was great. Was absolutely great. It showed Rex that he is a true hero. He defied orders. Sometimes a good soldier needs to defy orders of his commanding officer, and that's what he did. He knew he could save these people, the people of New York, and he did it. And it was so good. I loved it. Rex was, and Cartoon Network is going in the right direction with Rex, bringing back the action cartoons. And that's what I would do as a cartoon creator if a studio, whoever I was working for, said, we got rights to such and such. I want you, Chris, to bring back this. I want you to bring back that. Even if they said, yeah, we want you to reboot Space Ghost for this generation, I would take Space Ghost in a whole different direction. There's so many cartoons I would bring back, reboot, classic cartoons. When I used to watch it back in the days with my dad, Space Ghost, Birdman, My Tour, people like that, I would laugh because I'm like, Dad, you and your brothers used to watch this? Dang, the acting kind of stinks, you know? The voiceover sucks. And Birdman, don't get me started on Bird. I've never seen a hero monologue as to himself as much as he did in that show. And it was like, oh my God, just get on with it. Stop talking. You know, it was like, oh God, you know. But there's so many, but I gave you a few. So many. And your next question, respect is good one. Nobody's ever asked me this question yet, because I wonder have you seen the superhero Darkman movies? What did you think of the Darkman movies? I thought the first one was brilliant. The other two were good. Wow, Darkman. I love Darkman. I thought Darkman was a very interesting movie. Came from Sam Raimi. The original Darkman was played by Liam Neeson. Played him. That was the only one that came out in the movie theaters. The other two were straight to DVD, you know, straight to cable, whatever movies. And Arnold Vosloo, he took up the role as Dr. Peyton, John Peyton, I believe. I could be. Darkman was interesting because his strength came from his anger. When he got angry, then that's where his super strength would come out. But I enjoyed the fact that he would he was able to. He reminded me a little bit of the Question, a little bit, how he had the blank face, Unisol face, but it could come off only a short period of time to come off, and he showed his true face. How he survived that explosion, I will never know. But it was great. I enjoyed them. Yes, I agree. The first one was probably the best out of the other two. Excuse me. The comics. I used to read the comics. They made comics. Darkman was running high in the 90s so much that there were parodies of the character. A big parody was, believe it or not, was Baywatch. Baywatch did an episode with a so-called Darkman in that. That's how high his popularity was, But you don't believe me, you got to, but do your research. And I know some people are probably laughing their ass off for me saying that, but yes, it's true. It is definitely true. But Darkman, I love Darkman. I thought it was great. Yeah. Anybody else bring up, their thoughts on Darkman, feel free, But thanks again, R. As always, always good to hear from you. Always a pleasure. Another veteran, ladies and gentlemen, of the Q&A. We heard from a couple others. It's always good to hear from them. Okay, we have Dante's Gate 25D, I like to call him. Comes to me the question: if you could build a team out of Marvel and DC heroes, who would it be on your team and why? Second, who would be the leader and why? Third, what villains would you have them fight, or would you come up with your own? Wow. I think everybody's done this plenty of times. Captain America, Steve Rogers would be the leader. I can see others, but Steve, he is the essence of a born leader. Of course, Spidey, Bruce, Wonder Woman, Thor. I'm just naming guys off the top of my head, people. Nova, Moon Knight, Luke Cage. See that's why I can't do this, because the list is gonna be, the group is gonna be big. It's gonna be a powerhouse team, a team of brains and brawn. Villains, I would come up with my own, but of course use various villains like Loki and Ultron and people like that. Shoot, man, that's why it's kind of hard to bring that up. But I would definitely even create some villains of mine. I would use the villains I created for them, that I haven't used for my characters yet. I've created some other villains that are not used in any of my other stories that I'm doing. So I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with them. All right, but Dante D, thanks for the question, bro. I'm sorry that I didn't answer it more vividly, but that's a tough question. Not only is it a tough question, D, it's also where you gotta really there's so many great heroes out there from both publications that you would want them all on the team, but you have to limit them. So that's why sometimes people say you can only have a certain amount of superpowered and a certain amount of non-powered. But all in all, D, it was a great question, bro. Thank you for the question. Okay, that was Dante's Gate. Gates, people. He's getting up there. He still has to give me more questions till he reaches the goal to be a veteran in my book as a Q&A veteran is 10 or more. Dante has given about 5 or 6 questions, or 5, total of 5 or 4. He's getting up there. But another guy who's been bombarding me with questions, he's past that, is T-Zilla, Deadpoolzilla, Tyler. Everybody knows him. How's everything doing, T? Hope well on your end, getting better. Okay. And Deadpool asks me one question that has been on his mind for a long time, and it's made his head burst. And he asks me, maybe I can solve it. I'll be right back.